This episode is brought to you by Kia's first 3-row all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with a 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute, and available reclining lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and in today's episode, so I wanted to talk on the ongoing hate that surrounds my name. Just more so just trying to explain to, I guess, like the newer audience how dumb it is. You know, cause alright, so on top of the talking on that, just to more so talk to anybody out there that got like hate in their heart and stuff. Like, if you have hate in your heart, you need to let that stuff go. Like, you seriously need to let that stuff go. Like, being a negative person towards people that you don't know, people that you've never met, it doesn't make any sense why people carry on like that. Like, I never understood why. Like, cause no, I'll admit, there was at a point in time in my life, but it was like when I was a kid. It was like when I was young and just getting into the internet. Like, you don't really know how to act, but I feel like it gets to a certain point in time when you get older, you should not be acting like that. You shouldn't be in your 20s, 30s, or however old you are, still got hate in your heart about people. Like, you should be at a point in time in your life where that type of stuff don't matter. And people still act like that. They still act like they 20, 30 years younger and they're 20, 30 years older. Like, to have it where I was, you know, when I like had started taking YouTube seriously, it was when I was like 18. I think I was 18 when I had started taking YouTube. Yeah, because I got into it in 2015. So yeah. So I was like, or no, 17? How old was I? Because I graduated, so I turned 18. So okay, so I was like 18, 19 when I started taking YouTube seriously. And it just tripped me out to overall see how many people were overall like acting, and they're older than me. Like, it trips me out to see like people older than me. And I'm like, bruh, here I am. I'm trying to be a motivational person. I'm trying to be a positive person. I am being a positive person online. I'm out here making people laugh, helping them with their depression, you know, giving them that friend that they need. And then meanwhile, I got like the other side of YouTube where, oh, you shouldn't act like that. You can't be positive all the time. You can't be this, you can't be that. And it trips me out. It trips me out, and people carry on like that. And I'm like, look, at the end of the day, I never did, never will. I had to say at one point in time, it was, you know, occupying space in my mind. But I'll have to say now, like, it doesn't matter to me. The hate does not matter. Yeah, I'll talk about it, but that's different from like letting it consume me. Having it where this is what I talk to or talk about when I'm like interacting with friends and family outside of YouTube. Like, oh, I gotta talk on hate, or I gotta be negative, or I gotta be this, or you know, like, it ain't necessary. Like, I would really hate to think that this is what these guys talk about on their, like, you know, outside of YouTube. Like, you're really starting up this conversation with people, because people are going to look at you like you're weird. You may not realize that now, but people are going to look at you like you're weird. Like, why are you still being bothered with this person? Like, if it's really bothering you that this person exists, stop going to their channel. Like, I'm saying, like, I know at least one of my haters have had that conversation with somebody, and they probably thought that friend was in the wrong. They was like, oh, this friend's against me. They watch TMossBoss. They like his videos. How dare they? How dare my friend of however many months or years tell me who not to like and who to like on YouTube? They don't know me like that. And then they probably went right back to my channel and continued on hating. Like today, and that's even why I'm even making this podcast episode today. because the one guy goes and he was like, he told me overall to like give up with content creating. I had somebody tell me to give up. I had another person tell me that I had fallen off. And I'm like, fam, I was never on in the first place. Like, I've been a small YouTuber for years now. So I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I have to say this. It is slow on how, like, I am growing with YouTube, but I'm not tripping about that. Why should I? Why should I let that, like, rather than, oh, let me come out with some content that's going to entertain my audience, the audience that is here. Like, oh, let me, try to be the biggest YouTuber. Let me try to do this. Let me try to do... Because you're not going to have fun when doing that. You're not going to have fun trying to compete with PewDiePie. You're not going to have fun trying to compete with another big YouTuber or a TikToker or a Twitch streamer. Like, look at the one girl where she was trying to compete with Charlie D'Amelio, and look how that turned out for her. She had a video that got leaked out of her crying. She's not having fun with TikTok. She's doing this because she needs attention. I don't need attention. I'm saying that type of stuff, it don't matter to me. It doesn't. It's funny how I talk on that, and then I was like, overall in previous episodes. See, here's the thing, because I'm like, it's not like I'm trying to compete or, overall compete or compare myself to anybody. Like, whatever that person's doing, they're doing that. But I think because I know people would probably try to, like, add on to, or try to, like, bring up what I was talking about in previous podcast episodes with the Twitch streams and stuff. I was like, what is this flash? I'd seen my phone go off and I just looked at the wall and the wall was flashing. I was like, what is going on? But no, it was a TikTok notification. But it's funny how I'm talking about TikTok in a way, and that happened. But anyways, but no, like, all right, so to overall bring that up, because I know people are going to probably be like, well, you were like overall asking for attention with your Twitch streams and stuff. I'm not asking for attention from random people. I'm asking, like, people that constantly be asking me for stuff. Hey, yo, you can fix your mouth to ask me things. Like, join my streams every once in a while. Watch a couple of my videos. Like, let me know that you're actually a fan of what I do. But if not, then I'm like, okay, then there's no reason. I tell people to unfollow me. I tell people, I'm like, I don't want, if you ain't gonna be bothered with me, I don't want to be bothered with you. So at the end of the day, like, in my honest opinion, I could care less about attention. Because I be telling people straight up, like, hey, yo, if it takes too much time out of your day just to show me 2-3 minutes of support, not even that, like 2-3 seconds of support, just go on one of my videos and like it. Go across one of my channels and subscribe to it. Talk for me for a little bit in my Twitch streams, or like some of my videos on TikTok. To see where there's people that I've never met in my, whole life, my whole natural life. There's people that I've never met, but they've done that more than people that I've known my whole life. You would think that you wouldn't be able. It's crazy how I can't trust people that I've known for a long time versus I can trust people that I just met because we share the same vision, because we share the same goals. So at the end of the day, like, when I'm thinking along those lines where I'm like, because I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm not doing content, creating stuff for people that are telling me to give up or you falling off. I'm doing content creating stuff for those that be in my stream supporting, for those that be on my TikTok account supporting, that be on my YouTube channel supporting. I do that stuff for them. I don't do that stuff for people that ain't supporting me. Why would I be a content creator for people that don't support what I'm doing? Why would you work at a job and then people don't like you? Like, what would be the reason? Like, everybody in that job, let's say, okay, let me just paint out this picture for, my haters out there. You're working at this job. Nobody likes you. Would you still work at that job? Like, regardless of whether it pays good or not. Let's just say it was a good paying job, but would you want to work at that job? I know for a fact you would not work at that job for a long period of time, regardless of whether it's a good paying job. Because I don't think people understand, like, that affects your mental. So I'm saying, like, why would I allow people to affect my mental when they're mental themselves? Like, seriously, I'm not going to let a mentally insane person tell me who am I or how I'm doing things on YouTube. And they're not even content creators themselves. That's like one of the things I've always spoke on. I'm like, you're not content creators yourself, so why tell me how to be a content creator? You know, it's that type of stuff I just don't understand. But I'm like, you know, that's why I just, you know, overall I tell people, I'm like, hey, yo, focus on yourself. Let me focus on myself. I'm like, I don't need you to focus on me. I don't need you to be surrounding me or whatever. You know, it's people that carry on like that. And they're like, no, I need to because you're not going to learn on you. Honestly, I would rather have the worst time possible. If these are my worst days on YouTube, these are some of the best worst days I've ever had. Because honestly, like, you know, having it where I have supporters, regardless of whether it's 1 or a million, having it where I get views across my videos, having it where I'll have a TikTok video that'll blow up, or having it where there's friends of mine that will raid my streams, you know, or what other things that like my my, like, you know, videos on Instagram and, you know, TikTok, like when because I go and post like from TikTok on Instagram, but having it where there's people that are supporting me on Instagram, having it where I have that versus sitting down and listening to my haters. Like, that's why I say, like, this past year with YouTube, it's been, like, you know, stressful, but it's only been stressful because I'm trying to figure out, like, which content can I overall, like, get into and how good I can be at that content. Like, my thing is this, like, what's been my mindset, like, a lot lately is that I, like, when I do a video, I'm like, I want to do something, like, better than what I originally created. Like, you know, that's what I'm, like, really, like, starting to work on. It's like, okay, I did this, now I gotta do this. I'm like, okay, I did with that, the next thing, now I gotta go, like, 10 times harder. Then once I get to that, I'm like, you know, I try to make my stuff perfect. You know, like, in the image that I would want it to be in things. Like, this would be something that I would watch. You know, like, that's how I overall, like, work on being a content creator. Then it's like taking in my own criticism, taking in my own advice. Because I'm like, okay, I'm paying attention rather than listening to somebody that doesn't care. I care for my work. So I'm like, rather than listening to somebody that doesn't care for my work, then I'm like, okay, you know, let me see what, because I feel like your own criticism is better than anybody else's criticism. You obviously want the best for your work. Like, nobody wants the best for your work more than you. Yeah, there might be friends and people that, you know, they do care about your work and stuff. And if they do, they'll show that. If not, you gotta be the one that cares about your work. If nobody else will. So I'm like, be your biggest supporter, be your own supporter, you know, like, go above and beyond with editing, go above and beyond with coming out with comedy videos and stuff. It's gotten to the point where I'm like, I've developed like somewhat of a dark sense of humor just so I can overall, you know, just take it a step further than what I was beforehand. Because I have to say, like, excuse me, compared to who I was, like, maybe 2 years back, because I have to say, like, definitely last year, like, with this pandemic, it trips me out when I hear people saying, like, they couldn't do no content creating stuff because of the pandemic. Like, oh, I can't go outside and vlog, or I can't, you know, come up with no videos. Fam, I made the best of it. I created more it's funny how when I hear them say that, and I'm like, fam, I created multiple channels. I've uploaded hundreds of videos. What other things have I done? Reviewing more shoes, playing more video games, doing like the most during the pandemic. Made the best out of it. Was, you know, went above and beyond with the brand deal. So I'm saying, like, it trips me out when, like, I hear that, and I'm like, fam, people, cause, like, no, and that's, like, one of the reasons there's Keemstar, like, you know, cause I know with him, he was talking on how, cause of this, like, pandemic, you know, it just, things have changed overall with content creating, and I'm like, bro, you had something good going on, you just need to know how to use it. You know, and I feel like that's how it is with a lot of content creators. You know, even the content creators that be making videos on me. Like, the people that still want to hate on me till this day. You have a platform. You have something. So make the best out of it. But if what you consider making the best out of it is hating on other people, you're not making the best out of it. You're going in the opposite direction. You're making the worst out of the best thing that can be possibly given to you. you have a voice, you have a platform, and you want to use that to spread hate and try to, oh, it's criticism, it's this, it's that. How? How are you going to tell a person how to take things and how that, because I'm saying there'll be people out there that will get shot. And they see that as like, oh, I'm tough, I'm big, I'm bad now. And then you have where there's others out there that are like, no, you can't put in a person's head how to take things and how to not take things. You can't do that. And that's talking like on the whole criticism thing. You can't tell a person how to take criticism. You can't tell them your version of criticism and they heard another version of criticism. You can't tell a person like, oh, you gotta oh, this is how you gotta view things, or this is how you gotta do things. I'm like, you don't know that person like that. You don't know where they came from in this world to tell them like how to take things and how to do things and whatever. You don't know people like that. So that's one of the main reasons why I never sat down and listened to the hate, because they don't know me. You don't know what I get into. You don't know what I do. You don't know the amount of times and nights and days where I've sat around spending time coming up with content. Rather, when you guys are sitting in my comment sections or joining my streams or doing whatever, meanwhile, I'm making the best out of my content creating. So at the end of the day, between me and you, who do you think is going to make it first? Like the content creator that's spending night and day working on his arts and craft, figuring out what he can get into and how he can make the best out of it. The content creator with 38 YouTube channels and active on all of them, coming out with content for all of them every week. Literally developing this crazy mentality where most people would look at you like, bro, when do you take the time to relax? But no, actually speaking on that though, because I feel like I've recently been getting a lot of signs of like slowing down and stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, I just don't know how. Like I'll create a new channel, right? Like recently, I just created 2 more YouTube channels, and so now altogether I have 38 YouTube channels. And I'm like, fam, when I sit down and I see that, and I'm like, I've never seen somebody do this before. How am I doing this? Where did this even come from? Like, I sit down and I think about it, and I'm like, bruh, I've never have seen a content creator put this much work, love, blood, sweat, and tears, been working on content when they were sick, depressed, everything possible, like, going through it, sitting here going crazy at this job in Seattle, and then somehow coming home and making videos. Like, I never forget, like, I remember it was like, I think it was either towards the end of 2019 or it was the beginning of 2020, and I remember I told myself, I was like, okay, you know what? I don't care how I gotta do it or when I gotta do it. I was literally developing, and I think that's why I did so much during the pandemic, because I was like, fam, like, I didn't know when I would go back to work. I didn't know what was gonna happen next. So I remember when it was either at the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020, I told myself, I'm like, look, I don't care how long it takes. If I gotta lose sleep, if it gets to a point in time where I'm passing out at work because I'm spending so much time trying to be the best content creator possible, or just at least get into a position where I could do content creating full time, like, I remember I had kind of like stayed up till, I was like working on it. I was staying up till like midnight working on videos and like getting videos out the way and recording a little bit. So I would do that. And then the pandemic had hit. And I remember I was going to have like, I think it was like a full week or half of a week or something like that. So I was like, okay, you know what? Got to make the best of it. And then I was dealing with some stuff. But I was like, okay, you know what? I took me a little 48-hour break. I went right back to it. And I came out with some of the best, like, that's why it's like, if you look at some of my most viewed videos, a lot of them was from last year. I was like, I was staying up day and night. And that was before I decided to do Twitch streaming. So now I'm doing Twitch streaming twice a day, thinking about I might start streaming 3 times a day, just to overall see like what's the proper time of streaming and things, because people act like they can't join the stream. But anyways, on that, and then still doing content creating TikTok, and like people honestly, and then somehow I find the time to go to sleep at night. And I'm like, and that's the thing about it, is that I still feel like I'm not doing enough. Where I'm like, I'll sit there and be like laying down. I'm like, fam, I'm like, there's so much more that I can do. I probably will be uploading hundreds of videos every month. If it came down to it, where I was like uploading like however many videos across all my channels every month, it definitely be like well over it. But it's like not even like, oh, okay, let me do like one video today on each channel. Let me do one video. No, I'm saying multiple videos for each channel. I mean, if I can only do one, or if I can't come out with nothing, I'm like, okay, move on to the next channel. That's like the mindset that I've been on, where I'm like, okay, if I can't come out with no content for this channel, I'm gonna come out with some content for the other channels. And I'm just like, just go through them and just be like, okay, this is what I can do. All right, move on. Podcast. Okay, can't think of no podcast. All right, go back to the videos. Can't get into, okay, TikTok. Can't do nothing with, I'm like, okay, well, then I just can't, just gonna have to sit here and wait. Just sit here and be playing the video game. I'm like, got an idea. Boom. I'm saying like just my mind with content creating. I feel like a lot of the people that always talk on me about being a bad content creator, I don't think that they would be able to not even so much as to develop the mindset that I have with content creating, but to more so have my mindset. Like if we were to like trade minds, I honestly would just be like, dang, like there's so much free time. Like, I'm like, it's so much that I can do. But I'm like, versus having my mindset, them guys would probably be overwhelmed and would probably go insane trying to have my mindset. And the thing is it's just crazy how I've managed to maintain it and just, overall, like, feel good. So I'm saying, like, people can talk about me all they want. At the end of the day, it ain't gonna change nothing. I'm not going to, overall, like, lose brain cells, like, trying to be people like them and stuff. I'm like, I'm doing perfectly fine with what I'm doing now. So I'm like, if people don't like me, hey, that's on you. But I'm not gonna change who I am for nobody. I ain't gonna give up. I'm not having fallen off because I've never been on in the first place. So yeah, so I'm like, people can say what they want. They can do what they want. At the end of the day, I am living a lavish life with what I'm doing with content creating. So anyways, and that being said, I will talk to everybody later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 38 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at TMossBoss. Definitely make sure you follow my Twitch account. But anyways, also make sure you like my Facebook page. I'm at TMossBoss fan page. And make sure you use my SeatGeek promo code TMossBoss and $20 off your first purchase. And also make sure you use my promo code for Epic Games with this whole supported creator code TMossBoss. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.